Vaseline Petroleum Jelly, sitting in a blue tub on a drugstore shelf for $6.29. This exact jar was the only method out of 6 I tested that kept a single spray of fragrance detectable on skin past the 40-hour mark. And I wasn't expecting a jar of jelly to outperform 4 products that cost more than 10 times as much. I sprayed the same $145 bottle of Chanel Coco Mademoiselle on 6 different skin patches, prepped 6 different ways, and checked back every few hours for 2 full days. What happened by hour 30 is not what any perfume counter has ever told you, and it changes the math on every investment fragrance you've ever bought. Here's why this particular test matters more than the usual comparison video. You've spent real money, sometimes serious money, on bottles that promised 8 hours of wear and gave you 2, and you've quietly assumed the fault was your skin, your body chemistry, something inherently wrong with you that makes fragrance disappear faster than it should. It isn't your skin, it's that the entire fragrance industry sells you scent without ever selling you the one piece of chemistry that actually determines whether that scent survives contact with your body. What's underneath it? Nobody at any counter is incentivized to tell you that a $6 jar from the skincare aisle does more for longevity than the $200 bottle sitting 3 feet away, because that conversation doesn't sell more bottles. It sells you one jar, once, and then you stop needing to reapply 4 times a day out of desperation. Fragrance-matched body crème is the first method most women reach for because it's marketed directly alongside the perfume itself, often by the same brand, in the same display. Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt Body Crème runs $58 for 175 ml. And the pitch is simple. Layer the scented lotion under the spray, and the fragrance builds instead of fading. The texture is genuinely lovely. A light, fast-absorbing crème that doesn't leave residue, and the scent matching does add a noticeable richness in the first 2 hours. Here's what the display doesn't mention. Because this lotion carries its own fragrance oils, it evaporates on roughly the same timeline as the perfume itself, meaning you're not actually slowing the loss, you're doubling the initial concentration, and then watching both fade together, usually by hour 6 or 7. You paid $58 to make the beginning stronger, not the ending longer. Solid perfume balm comes next. The little metal compact you tuck into a bag, usually priced around $45 for a 0.28-ounce stick in a wax or oil base. The appeal is portability, and the promise that a wax base clings to skin longer than liquid alcohol-based spray. On first application, the scent sits close to the skin, warm and slightly muted, compared to the spray version, which some women genuinely prefer. The catch is that most solid perfume bases use beeswax or jojoba oil, neither of which is occlusive enough to meaningfully slow evaporation. They hold the fragrance oil in suspension, but they don't seal it against the skin's surface, so by hour 5 the wax has worn thin, and the scent underneath has already begun its normal decline. Remember that word occlusive, because it's going to matter a lot more in a few minutes. Notice the pattern already forming here. The 2 most heavily marketed longevity solutions both fail for the same underlying reason, and neither company has any incentive to explain that reason to you. Fragrance-matched deodorant is the third method. Cheap and easy to grab, usually $14 for a stick sold as a companion piece to a specific perfume line. The logic makes sense on paper. Reinforce the base notes at the source of natural body warmth, since heat is what pushes fragrance molecules up off the skin. What it does well is subtle. Underarm application does genuinely extend the base note's presence when you lean in close to someone, which is a real, measurable effect. The problem is scale. Underarms represent a tiny surface area compared to wrists, neck, and décolletage, so while the deodorant holds its own little pocket of scent, it does nothing for the broader sillage most women actually care about. And testers in my trial reported the deodorant's scent becoming borderline undetectable to anyone standing more than a foot away by hour 4. Coconut oil, the natural beauty aisle darling, costs around $9 for a jar, and the theory behind it is sound in principle. Oils are known to hold fragrance better than dry skin. Applied under a spray, coconut oil does create a noticeably richer, warmer initial scent profile, especially with fragrances built around vanilla or amber bases, since the oil itself has a faint sweetness that complements those notes. But coconut oil is a triglyceride that absorbs into skin within roughly 20 to 30 minutes on most people, and once it's absorbed, its ability to trap anything on the surface goes with it. By hour 8 in my trial, the coconut oil patch tested nearly identical to the untreated control patch, meaning the entire benefit had already evaporated, along with the oil itself. Plain unscented drugstore lotion, the kind sold in a pump bottle for about $8, is the advice you'll hear most often from fragrance forums. And it's not wrong, just incomplete. Any moisturized skin holds fragrance longer than dry skin, because dry, flaky surface cells create more exposed edges for molecules to escape from. The lotion I tested did outperform bare skin by a meaningful margin, extending detectable scent to around 14 hours. The limitation is the formula itself. Most drugstore lotions are humectant-based, meaning they draw moisture in rather than sealing it, which helps skin hydration but does very little to physically block fragrance molecules from lifting off into the air. Before the results, there's a full breakdown of exactly how I measured detectability at each hour mark, along with the specific application technique that made the biggest difference. Linked in the description. It's the sheet I wish someone had handed me before I spent a decade assuming certain perfumes just didn't work on me.